Hello and welcome to Pitt Resource Connections television program. My name is Cindy Asbell. I'm with Real Crisis Intervention, and we love to highlight community resources out there, things when they change, new things when they come to us, and making sure that you and the community are aware of these events and programs. Today I have with me Michele Marston-Stevens. She is the Director of Economic Empowerment and Fundraising with Koinonia Community Solutions. Welcome, Michele.
Thank you so much for having us, Cindy. We just appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Absolutely. We are very excited because you have so many things going on. We're not going to be able to hardly touch them today, but there are a lot of things about Koinonia Community Solutions that we would love to let the community know. First thing I would like to do is ask you about the missions and the values, the story of how you were founded and why.
Oh, that's an interesting story. So Koinonia Community Solutions was originally founded as Koinonia's Community Development Center from the outreach of the Koinonia Christian Center Church here locally in Greenville. Our board chair and our founder is Bishop Rosie O'Neill, and she has such a heart for Greenville and the surrounding communities. So I believe within the church there were conversations all the way back as far as 2001 trying to figure out how to further that mission. So our nonprofit was essentially founded in 2014. We have since rebranded. So Koinonia Community Solutions is our name, and that was with the intention during COVID. There were lots of changes, lots of glaring obvious issues that really needed to get focused in on, and they were trying very hard all along to figure out where that niche is and how to help support our youth and our families. So we have a new mission. So we're building bridges of opportunity to the underserved in northeastern North Carolina through youth education, affordable housing, and economic empowerment initiatives. So in a nutshell, we are building stronger families and better communities right here in Pitt County, Martin County, and we are serving a little bit of Beaufort County now too.
So you're filling that gap.
We are. That's the plan, to stand in the gap and make sure that everyone has access to all the cool things that are there, but maybe there's something standing in the way of them getting the support they need.
All right. Well, tell me more about the youth education programs that you offer and what schools are you at?
Oh, there's so much. So for Pitt County alone, we have the Strong Her Girls program at A.G. Cox. We have the Max Factor Youth Male Mentoringship program over at CMEPS. We have an early intervention Max Factor program that serves 3rd through 5th grade boys at South Greenville. And then we also have our Kids Excel after school program that picks up from 6 elementary schools here in the Pitt County School District.
Wow, that's a great number.
Yes, a lot.
So tell me what makes your youth educational program special or unique?
Oh, so they get just absolute fulfilling mentorship. We bring in lots of student support. We have a lot of academic enrichment programs. They take field trips. And I know when you say field trip, you think, oh, they're going to Busch Gardens. No, they may do that too, but they are getting exposure in local businesses. They're getting exposure in your local communities. Our Strong Her Girls actually were able to go over to Pitt County's early college high school over at Pitt Community College, and later on this month I believe they're going over to the early college at ECU. They're learning about their options and opportunities right here. Our Max Factor boys have been invited over to pursue the African American Cultural Trail, which is new for Greenville. They have been to plays at East Carolina University. They have been, of course, other places too, but we're really showing them all the options they have here. And it's just a really beautiful thing, because you may grow up in Pitt County your whole life just like I did. You don't really know, and you're still forming who you are, where you want to go, what options you have. Kindergarten, you want to be a firefighter, right? And that may change by the time you get to 6th or 7th grade. And then if you truly are looking at what Greenville has to offer, what Pitt County has to offer, some of our students that live further out in Winterville, per se, may not have come to see what other options they have and what they can apply for. So the way that it's so perfect, and on top of that too, they're getting healthy living skills. So healthy mental awareness, healthy self-awareness, healthy physical education aspects. The girls are dancing, they're getting taught all these cool like aerobic type dance moves, but don't call it aerobics because, they're cooler than we are. But they're there's so much that they're getting to do, and the young men are getting to learn how to tie ties and how to look out for younger students. So the 8th graders are looking out for the 6th graders in a middle school. It's just a really beautiful thing for all of the kids to have such an exposure. We're doing a career days. We've had local leaders come in and share, and it's just a really way to expose them to all the cool stuff that's happening right in their own county.
It sounds like it is a chain of mentorship. You've got the kids to the younger kids the older kids have already seen what's out there in the community, and they're bringing that back with them,
Right.
and sharing that and mentoring that for those that are coming up. I think that's amazing. So tell me a little bit more. You mentioned Strong Her program. Tell me more about that, how they're funded, what's going on with them.
Okay, so Strong Her is our middle school girls program that is fully funded by Women for Women, the North Carolina Women's Fund, the Ellie and Joe Allison Smith Family Foundation, ECU Health, and we just recently received a regional grant from the Southern Black Girls Coalition. That program started as a Girls Who Code, and it is got one massive STEM component built in there. The girls are learning how to build tech programs. They're learning about technology, trying to levy up the workforce side later in a few years, because IT guys are IT guys, right? What if you have more IT girls? What if you have more minority girls in the field of technology? So that program is really special. It is fully funded and free to girls that attend A.G. Cox Middle School. So we have a lot of 6th and 7th graders in there right now. A lot of the 8th graders are already kind of in a routine, but of course we'd still take them. But it's a really beautiful thing because those girls are also increasing in the preventive factors that may take away from their education later. They're learning how to communicate with each other. They're learning conflict resolution skills. They're learning how to respect each other's boundaries. They're learning what healthy boundaries are. That's preventive as they're discussing factors that go into teen dating violence. And then they're getting exposure to all types of careers. And it's just a really beautiful thing to see if you invest in them at this age, how they continue to grow and blossom and stay on the right track moving forward.
And then they break that cycle and they get the good stuff coming in.
Yes. And you're talking about less, issues later, less substance abuse problems, less violence problems, less likely to be trafficked, less likely to do all these risky things that we're all scared of as a community that we really are looking for ways to support and encourage. So that's exactly what Strong Her Girls does.
Great. Okay, now you have also the Kids Excel After School. Tell me about that.
So Kids Excel After School picks up from, I believe it's 6 elementary schools here. And if you ask me to go through the list, I'd prefer you go to the website and look. They're all listed beautifully. But we pick up children from their school site. We bring them over into our space where they are given a healthy snack. There have been lots of healthy, organized activities. This isn't a place that we just bring them in and let them run wild. They have time outside. They have homework help. They have some of our fraternities and sororities that actually have to complete some volunteer hours will come in and spend time with these kids too. And then they get Christmas parties and they get holiday things going on. They have put on a play before. They've done skits. They challenge each other. They have these giant Uno cards and they're challenging to see, and before you know it, you get the whole room of kids playing with giant Uno cards, and it's so cute. But they're doing really cool involved items and things after school because their mind, although they need a break from the school, they're picking up new healthy habits the whole day. They're like sponges. So, and our staff is specifically trained in this age group, so K through 5th grade. Our van drivers are wonderful. They're all grandparents themselves. And so it's just been a very it's not fully funded, but it's been a very beautiful program to watch develop, and it's something that the church had a heart to do before, and they're excited to increase that capacity and serve these kids in a healthy, safe environment where they're continuing to learn so that parents can finish their workday.
That's great. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the Max Factor program and the Max Factor Early Intervention program.
So Max Factor is incredibly special. People don't know this, but Max Factor started under the Koinonia Church umbrella 10 years ago. They have 10 years of service. It started within the school day with just a few young males, and it has blossomed into serving 39 young males, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade boys at CMFs for the last 10 years in a full after-school capacity Monday through Thursday. The early intervention was an extension of that program so that we could catch them even earlier. So our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade boys that are getting referred through a school counselor are getting surrounded by 3 fully trained youth educators to spend a lot of time with them. The Max Factor Boys program for middle schools was been under Jermaine Johnson the entire time. His leadership has been wonderful, and we have a great team behind us in our office that helps support all the facets. 10 years, and they've had 1 youth out of 10 years that needed a little extra support to finish high school. Every single kid they've touched in that program has continued on, has received scholarships, has gone to college, and it's all kind of started with that seed of having a male mentor support system that reflects them, that looks like them, that understands Greenville, that grew up like them. And it makes all the difference of the trust and respect in that model for these boys. So they are treated to things that they've never gotten to experience. They get to dress up. They have etiquette dinners. It's really cool to see. They learn how to pull out their chairs and where to put their napkins, but they're also learning leadership qualities. I've been fortunate enough to work with Koinonia Community Solutions for 1.5 years now, and I get to bring in other male leaders in our community to share with them what they did, what they've seen, and invest in them as well. And they feel that. They are the most respectful, caring, polite young men I have ever been privileged to spend time with. They will hug your neck as you walk out the door. They're just beautiful kids, and so we get to support them and inspire them and love on them. And they are, the types that you want to see become President of the United States one day.
Oh, wow. Now, before I ask you about contact information, tell me a little bit more about the supports that you do have for the families.
Right. So that's the other side of what I do. So that's my bread and butter. So we really started the economic empowerment piece coming from workforce development backgrounds that I have to not just support the kids in these beautiful spaces, but what if mom and dad are getting what they need to? And so we started with a series that I call Level Up, which is an event that we usually hold twice a year in Pitt County. We've been asked to serve it in other counties too. But we really wrap around and support the whole family with lovely partners like yourself and multiple local community connections. We work on job fairs and soft skills and connections to housing initiatives and pieces that we've got. We are able to work with reentry coaching. We've been able to get 212 people jobs just last year alone. Wow. By leveraging all the pieces, right? So, if you've got access to information on how to subsidized childcare, if you've got access to Pitt County Transit Authority coming to show you how to work the bus system, you are suddenly much more able to get to an appointment or get your child where it needs to be, or even just have the ability to go to work somewhere differently than maybe you thought you had before. We work with resumes, and we also do a big dream event. I'm excited to have that coming back post-COVID again. We used to do that once a year. I think that we're looking at doing it more, but we do a lot of connections to community involvement, connections to continuing education, connections to understanding the FAFSA, knowing what you have to do to fill out a college application. We've even had some volunteers that have helped people working on their digital skills. So a lot of the applications you put in these days are online, and how do you do that? If you don't have a smartphone, or maybe that's not the generation you were born in, or maybe it was just the access piece isn't there for you. You didn't know you could do that job. So we've been able to work really closely hand in hand with families, and you don't necessarily have to come from a child in our program to access the economic empowerment side. It's truly for everyone. But they really believe that if families have a safe place to stay, and your kids, taken care of while you're working, and you're increasing your availability to work, and you're increasing that momentum, then the whole family gets a wraparound support. We've been able to help people get free mental health assessments. We've been able to help people get interview clothing and shoes they needed, and job supplies, work boots, all those pieces by leveraging all of our amazing partners here, but just bringing it to them. We've provided transportation to job fairs. We've picked up from Joy Soup Kitchen before, and just really seeing the value in people in a space that's non-judgmental so that they can level themselves up and their entire family too.
That definitely is the definition of empowerment. It's
Yes.
all of those things going on. That's amazing. And we are very fortunate to have you all in our community to be able to do that.
Well, and we're blessed to do the work. We have a wonderful team. It's not just myself, and we do have a wonderful director, Watsi Sutton. We have wonderful education program directors, Tara Poe and Portia Willis, and we've got lots of part-time people. You may not even know that they're working for us after hours, but it's just a beautiful thing to watch a whole family get what they need. And I don't mean that we, just hand them all the things. But there's a lot of just having that information in front of you. Yes, a toolkit, absolutely. Having that information in front of you, having that chance to talk to somebody one-on-one. A lot of places will say, "Here's this number, call this number." When we get to bring everybody together, and it's all done by steps. Some people need a little bit more hand-holding, and that's okay in our office. I myself washed and dried my birth certificate at 17 years old, right? And I'm like, oh gosh, what do you do? Where do you get this? Is it like I never existed? And that can happen multiple places and spaces. So things like that, we really understand the barriers. We've had beautiful success stories. We've had a family of 4 that was sleeping in their car that we were able to coach up and get moving and get the kids where they needed to be, and now she's in her own apartment, right? We've had some harder cases. We've had people that were dealing with sobriety issues and trying to get custody of their children back, and trying to continue moving forward. And so that coaching piece, that real support piece, that laid off in between jobs, that homeless part, you got to start somewhere. So we really are grateful to be able to come alongside of families. It's truly a hand up in a beautiful way.
Definitely. Well, I have the brochure right here with me, but I would like for you to tell them how they can reach you all, the website, the phone number, all that good stuff.
Yes, so our home office is in Winterville, North Carolina. We are at 610 Suite B, Old Tar Village Road. We're right across from Winterville Pediatrics, down by the Speedway, down towards Food Line. If you can't come to us, that's okay. You can go on our website, koinoniasolutions.org. We also have a phone number listed there, or we made it really easy. You can just contact us, and a little button will pop up. You shoot us an email, tell us what you need. If you're interested in supporting, volunteering with us, attending some of our wonderful fundraisers, we are always looking for hands in, because many hands make light work.
Wow. What a program.
Thanks.
What a group.
Yeah, it's a culmination of having a wonderful board and a board chair that just really saw the need and knew that she couldn't be everywhere at one time. So how do you help support and move things forward? We were very lucky to partner with multiple other churches to meet some needs. That has been a beautiful thing for me personally to see. Folks just working together to support your neighbor. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Breaking down barriers, empowerment, support.
Opportunities,
education, all the good stuff, all rolled into your programs. So, wow.
Thanks.
I cannot say enough about how exciting it is to hear about all the new things and the things you've been continuing to do going on in our community. We're lucky to have this in Pitt County, and I know you mentioned other counties had expressed interest in you all as well, but
They have.
I selfishly want to keep you here.
Yes.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Well, I mean, I was born here. I get it too.
Yeah.
And there's so much need. We can get one family kind of situated, and we've probably got 3 or 4 more. So the more volunteers, the more support, the more donations, of course. Not that we're here to talk about that, but if you're interested. And it's just been a beautiful way to build stronger families and better communities all around. So I'm just privileged to be a part of the work, and just so grateful to get to be the hands and feet sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. Hopefully in the future we can highlight some more of the programs through Koinonia Community Solutions.
Yes, there's
you
a lot.
or some of your coworkers.
Yes, I'll send them all.
Get Watsi in here, all the good people in here, and just more information. We never can have enough of it. Every time that you and I interact, I learn something new. And I wanted to make sure that people were aware of just so many different changes, and that's one reason why we sought you out to talk about your programs, is because of the impact it's making, the empowerment you're offering.
There's more to come. There is a lot more affordable housing initiatives coming. I can't announce all that here today, but I'm sure when they come back, there'll be some beautiful things to share.
Absolutely. So when we have more on that, we'll have to have you back, or one of your coworkers, and we will see how everything pans out with that.
Okay. Thank you so much for having us today,
Thanks
Cindy.
for
And we're
coming.
so appreciative of the Pitt County Resource Connection. I have personally attended that meeting off and on for I guess maybe 10 years now, maybe
Oh, wow.
more.
It's been that long? Okay.
It's been that long for different various reasons. They're volunteer organizations, and we always make a new connection every time we're there, which is the point. There's always one more thing that somebody we know could use, or one more service that we know somebody else needs. The needs are great, but the beautiful community that's behind the scenes trying to meet those is empowering and just a beautiful thing for Pitt County.
Well, we have to have these organizations like Pitt Resource Connection, you guys. We're hitting a lot of grassroots things where I can tell you that Pitt Resource Connection was started at the time when we had Floyd and all the flooding and all that stuff, and the resources that we were really looking at were not able to be used because they themselves had their own damage and things like that. So being able to be grassroots, you guys grassroots, you're right there in the trenches, you're in the valley with the people. It's just really important that we are making sure that people are aware of these services.
Well, we appreciate the time to share.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, for that, we're going to be wrapping up for today. Again, my name is Cindy Asbell. I'm with Real Crisis Intervention, and this is the Pitt Resource Connection television show. Have a great day.